Hey, welcome to Speaking of Horses. Wayne Williams here, and we are in Pomona, California. We are at Horse Expo Pomona, the 2016 version. My guest is Teresa Spencer. Now, Teresa is one of the sponsors with Speaking of Horses TV and radio, and Equstrisafe. So, first of all, welcome this fine morning.
Thank
It's
you.
February in Southern California, and we're not in the snow. We're not in the...
Nope.
They think it's chilly because it's below 60, but trust me, in other parts of the world, this is nothing.
Oh,
okay?
this is summer.
So, Equstrisafe seems to be on a really growing mode. It's a wonderful product line we've got. So, tell us about your product line and tell us a little about what got you started in doing this.
Well, fabulous. Thanks, Wayne. And I appreciate you having me on this morning. We started this company. It was a girlfriend and I that came together through horses and a friendship of horses. And we were evacuated 5 times in 4 years. And what happened with that is when we got to the evacuation centers, we found out that none of the horses at those evacuation centers had any form of owner identification on them. Now the county, the sheriff's department, animal control had their own forms of identification, but nothing from the owners. And when you go into an evacuation situation, you're running in, grabbing horses maybe from homes that people do not, are at work maybe, or they've gone on vacation. So the owner may not even be aware that their animals were evacuated. What we found is between that and trail riders having what we like to classify as unscheduled dismounts.
Good way to put that. I like that. I like that. I've had a few of those myself.
That's right. We don't call them buck-offs, and the horse takes off and runs away. How do you get your horse back? If somebody finds your horse, locates your horse, and you don't have any form of identification on that horse, how do you get your horse back? So we came up with the idea of a permanent embroidered band that could be very easily attached to your horse through Velcro with your phone number on it. And that way, if the horse is lost, is removed from your property for any reason during an evacuation, or we all have those Houdini horses that love to get out of a stall, they love to take down a fence, or decide that they want to become a show jumper that day, and run down the street, then your neighbors can also give you a call and say that you have, that they have found your horse in their front yard. And that actually happened to me one day. All 3 of mine got out. A neighbor didn't even know that I had horses, and he called me because of the number on the fetlock band and said, "By the way, do you have 3 horses these colors?" And I said, "Yes." So I had to go down there, round them up, bring them back, and
The first thing you have to do is admit they got away from you.
Exactly.
That's the first thing.
I had a Houdini, and he opened up the gate in the middle of the night.
I got to tell you a funny story. We were trail riding years ago in west central Wisconsin, out kind of close to the Mississippi River, but there's a area out there which is government land. There are no really marked trails, but it's wide open. It's like a national park. You just pull in. There's one big field where you can camp. There's no facilities,
Nice.
but people camp, and you just take off riding, and you're basically just on your own. Well, a gentleman that we know was selling a horse to another guy, and he agreed, okay, let's go over there and we'll trail ride. You can ride the horse. If you like the horse, then you pay me. If you don't like the horse, you don't pay me for the horse, and I take it home. Well, obviously, that is the horse that the guy who was not a very good rider was on, but wanted to buy. Came down to a creek, and every time the horse would jump the creek, the gentleman would fall off.
Oh boy.
Finally, they said, look, just get off, lead the horse. You jump across the creek, and let the horse jump across the creek, get back on, because otherwise we're not going to get you across. So he got off, the horse jumped the creek, pulled the reins out of his hand, and the horse took off.
Oh boy.
Now the horse is tearing around there, saddle, bridle, reins hanging, tearing through the woods, thickets, and everybody else on horseback looking for the horse can't find the horse. So we go back to the camp area, and the gentleman who owned the horse was now really heartbroken because he didn't have a sale. And his horse was gone, and the guy that was going to buy it isn't going to buy a horse they can't find. It was a real, kind of a mess. And all of a sudden that night, after exhausted searching, just figuring, well, what probably would happen, unfortunately, was the horse could have gotten into the thickets, got brush run up, branches run up into the stirrups or whatever, and been trapped. Well, somebody drove into our little camping area and said, they might lose a horse here. Yeah, it's just, well, I said it's about 6 miles down this gravel road, and it's just tied to an old tire laying by the road because it's exhausted. Just go get it.
Oh my God.
So these two guys jumped in the truck and trailer, went down the road. Sure enough, there was the horse. Did not even break the reins.
Wow.
The horse was sweaty and all that and exhausted, but he was so exhausted that they just tied him to a tire and he wasn't going anywhere. Okay. And they loaded him up, brought him back, and everything was cool. But it was so, you know, it's another reason why it would have been so nice. The first person that saw that horse could have easily made a phone call. And in this day and age, this was when this has been a few years ago. Cell phones weren't as big as they are now, but now it would have been very simple to just call a person. They would have been in camp with their cell phone probably and known immediately.
Right.
If that data was in fact on that horse.
Right. You know, last night I opened up my email and I had a testimonial from somebody who said, I've decided to buy your fetlock bands after being introduced to them from a friend of mine. And it just so happens we were out camping and a very nice, sweet mule rolled into our camp, fully tacked up. We didn't know where it came from. And she said, because of that, we were able to find the owners, but it took us 3 days.
Yeah.
And she said, and because of that, I am now going to purchase your fetlock ID bands.
Well, tell us a little bit about the varying products that you do have.
Well, for us, you know, our motto is before emergencies happen, not after.
Right.
So we want you as a rider and a horse owner to be very safe on the trail with not only identification for you and your horse, but also possibly medical information and other things. We have several products in our line that are reflective for people who love to night ride. Several different products, from halters to collars to leg bands, all designed to help you be visible at night. And we use 3M products. So they're very high quality reflectability. Some of these products can be seen from a quarter to a half a mile away. We also have some helmet tags, we call them rescue facts, that we can use for your horse with identification, medical information for your horse, you as owner information, veterinary information, and most importantly, a consent to treat. Then we also have them for us humans for your helmet that does all the same thing. It has all of your information. We also have rattlesnake kits, airway kits we call them, for if your horse gets bit by a rattlesnake. We also have several different styles of first aid kits that you can carry with you, have in your saddlebag, have in your truck, in your trailer, and your barn. We're just numerous products that we do, but it's all geared around safety and being safe before an emergency happens.
Well, and you've got a really good product line here. I love the emergency kits, the first aid kits you have. It's very well thought out, and I know you have been at different horse expos speaking to people on this very thing. So it's very, very well thought out, very, very well done, and we just love being involved with it.
Well, thank you. And I love to. I'll plug this. I love to promote small businesses. So all of the products that I get are from other small business owners.
Right.
That's what I like to do. So,
well, we just passed along a wound care thing to you.
Yes.
From a small business starting up in Missouri, and it's called Nixall. Nixall. I'll get a plug in for Nixall.
There you go.
But it's something that I had given Teresa that could be something that would be made available in that first aid kit.
Absolutely.
We'll see. We'll just see.
Absolutely.
Well, Teresa, thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me on.
And we thank all of you for listening and watching. And speaking of horses, and we enjoy doing these things. We're in Pomona, California. We're talking Equstrisafe. Be sure to look it up. It's Equstrisafe. EQUESTRISAFE.com.
That's it.
Teresa, thank you.
Thanks so much.
And thanks. Stay with us here on Speaking of Horses.